This is nighttime in the land of apex predators, the African savannah. After a long, brutal day of dodging ambushes and traps from killers hiding behind and near every corner of the landscape, the worn-out, scared animals finally crawl out of their hiding spots. Moving through the dark, some of them eat, some of them drink, others just try to rest, thinking the danger might have eased up. Just like this troop of baboons. Compared to the rest of the animals out here, these primates have taken an extra step to protect themselves from predators. They've climbed trees up to 100 feet high, putting themselves practically out of reach for most predators. Well, most is the key word here. Because there's a group of hunters basically built to pull off kills in this kind of darkness. The big cats, especially this one. With night vision about 7 times sharper than ours and a kind of stealth that might as well belong to a ghost, this sneaky, cold-blooded feline circles around its prey like it's invisible. And for the baboon's doomed fate, they're just as good in the trees, if not better. With hooked, blade-like claws and a body that's both strong and ridiculously agile, it scales the giant tree like it's nothing and corners the alpha male, who can sense something is there and freaks out, yet still can't see how close it really is. And then, with one savage pounce and a clean strike, the alpha baboon is dead. This is the ghost cat of the African nights, the African leopard. On the night of Friday, May 4th, 2018, a nanny looking after a 3-year-old at Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda stepped out of the house for a minute. This area of the lodge wasn't fenced, but she figured she'd get a bit of work done and come right back. Out of nowhere, she heard the kid scream. She had no idea the child had followed her outside. She turned around, and there it was. This huge leopard grabbing the kid from right behind her. Before she could even wrap her head around what she was looking at, the cat slipped straight into the dark with the child. What followed was a huge search operation, but all the rangers found the next day was a skull, which later turned out to be the child's. As shocking and brutal as that sounds, stories like this aren't unheard of in places where these big cats roam too close to human activity. In June 2019, in Kruger National Park, a 2-year-old child of another employee was attacked right in front of his parents. They could only watch in shock as the leopard landed several deadly bites within seconds and disappeared before anyone could react. In attacks like these, experts usually push for the leopard to be killed, even though the species is protected across most of its range by government laws. And the reason behind that is even darker than the incidents themselves. A leopard that has tasted human flesh once is very likely to come back for another human. Some don't just come back, they turn into full-on habitual man-eaters. This unpredictable and downright chilling side of these animals is exactly why leopards are considered one of the deadliest cats a person can run into. But there's a lot more to this behavior than just the horror stories. We'll get into that in a moment. First, let's give these apex predators the introduction they deserve. Panthera pardus, or the African leopard, is the dominant subspecies of the leopard, lurking across most of sub-Saharan Africa and in a few isolated pockets of northern Africa, provided that the land offers thick cover and a steady flow of things to kill and eat. These giant felines hold one of the most diverse diets of any predator in the region, feeding on more than 92 different prey species in just sub-Saharan Africa alone. From something as tiny as a dung beetle to something as massive as a 2,000-pound eland, these cats can take down almost anything they set their sights on. Their favorite prey, though, is any nearby antelope. This trio of gazelles is just munching away, completely carefree, having no clue that a slick big cat has been eyeing them the whole time. Sliding through the tall golden grass, the leopard's rosette-coated body dissolves into the shifting light, with its outline broken, basically turning it into a ghost for the gazelles in plain sight. But invisibility is only half of what makes this predator terrifying. The cat moves with a level of patience and discipline that is haunting. It inches forward, closing the distance grain by grain, waiting for the exact moment the gazelle's guard dips just low enough. And when it's time, there is no hesitation, no warning at all. The leopard explodes from the grass with lethal precision. and a brutal bite to the throat ends the struggle for the hapless prey before it can even begin. Then, the predator dragged its kill off somewhere private to enjoy the meal in peace. Apart from these antelopes, which, by the way, can range from small, slender species like tik-tiks and steenboks to medium-sized duikers, reedbucks, and topis, and even giants like koks, hartebeest, zebras, wildebeest, and African buffaloes. This massive cat can also take on a variety of other prey, including rodents and small mammals, pigs, birds, insects, multiple species of monkeys and baboons, and in rare cases even gorillas, as well as several practically carnivorous predatory animals. This jackal was off trying to snatch a bird from the flock when a stealthy leopard sneaked in behind it. The cat slid into the grass, found the perfect spot, and waited with deadly patience. When the jackal finally charged into the flock, the deadly feline exploded into action, turning hunter into the hunted. With just one clean bite, the poor animal went completely paralyzed in the jaws of its predator. The whole thing unfolded so fast you can barely make sense of it unless you slow it down frame by frame. Like other big cats, these deadly predators have way more low-light receptor cells in their eyes than normal, and a specialized reflective layer behind the retinas that bounces any leftover light back to the eye, giving them a second shot at seeing things. The result is that night vision is at least 7 times sharper than the human eye. On top of that, their ears are capable of detecting ultrasonic frequencies up to around 65,000 hertz, which means they can literally hear a mouse scurrying in its burrow or a leaf rustling several feet away. Not just that, they can also swivel these ears like little radar dishes, thanks to more than 30 muscles to focus on the exact direction of the sound. After locking eyes on its prey, sometimes as far as 1.2 miles away, this ambush predator makes sure to stay out of sight until it's as close as possible, usually around 16 feet or so. Then, in a sudden, explosive pounce, it takes the prey by surprise and kills it with a fatal bite or suffocates it, depending on how big it is. Most of the time, this all goes down on the ground. But being a skilled climber doesn't just mean it can chase prey up in trees. Sometimes, it hides up there and waits to drop down onto unsuspecting victims below. This leopard has climbed up a tree about 30 feet and locked itself on an impala grazing below. From heights like this, the leopard's drop takes around 1.3 seconds, which is actually plenty of time for the impala to react and try to escape. But the big cat jumped with such stealth and precision that even with lightning-fast reflexes, the poor antelope barely saw it coming. These cats aren't lightweights either. An individual of their species can weigh anywhere from 83 pounds to over 200 pounds, and when it lands on the impala's slender limbs, it's like getting slammed by a speeding car, paralyzing the poor creature instantly. What's left is taken care of by a vicious bite to the throat that can never go wrong. Of course, a fall from this height is risky. Hit the horns or land at the wrong angle and the leopard could be badly injured. But these ferocious cats don't just manage their angles smartly, they're too savage to care as well. After a kill is made, comes one of the most mind-boggling parts of this whole episode. While some leopards will eat their prey right there, others drag it into cover hundreds of feet away and stack it. Some of them use their powerful jaws with a bite force of up to 500 psi, along with their muscular bodies to haul the carcasses up into the trees. In some cases, these insane predators have been observed lifting young giraffes weighing up to 276 pounds up to 19 feet high into the branches and storing them there. Apart from that, these big cats can swim long distances, run up to 36 miles per hour, leap horizontally from one branch to another up to 20 feet apart, and even jump vertically up to 10 feet, sometimes even catching prey in their jaws. And when all these deadly, straight-up devilish traits come up against humans, the results can be seriously disturbing. For centuries, humans and leopards have been living side by side in different communities across their range. Because of this long interaction and human encroachments, some leopards start to lose their fear of people that most wild animals normally have. This close contact also means that a leopard is more likely to get a taste of human flesh at some point. Most of the time, it happens when people try to steal their kills, and the big cats attack in revenge, killing them. Other times, they feed on human corpses left out in the open or during a livestock raid, when a leopard comes for the animals but ends up taking out anyone who happens to be in the way. All these experiences build a taste for humans over time, and it's made worse by the fact that people are a lot easier for leopards to catch than their regular prey. Then, with things like fewer natural prey around or an injury that makes it unfit to pursue its usual quarry, it can turn into a full-blown man-eater. The result is what you see in cases where man-eating leopards have been recorded raiding villages or unfenced park areas, stealing children and killing people, sometimes even when other livestock are around, basically picking up humans over their normal prey just because they've developed a taste for it. One such man-eater in Africa was described by British officer Harold George Swain back in 1899 in his book Great and Small Game of Africa. According to his account, a man-eating leopard prowled the Golis Mountains of northern Africa for years, killing around 100 villagers who walked unknowingly into its ambush. The leopard would hide behind and above giant boulders that hung over a narrow, dark mountain path frequently used by the villagers. It would wait for someone to step into the range and then drop down from above and feed on its unlucky victims. The terrain was dark, full of cliffs, boulders, and rough ground, which made it almost impossible to track or hunt the leopard. People couldn't bring it down, and it likely vanished on its own after claiming countless innocent lives. The pattern of choosing dark places or times to strike shows up again and again in leopard attacks. These cats have a big advantage of being nocturnal, and their victims, on the other hand, especially humans, are caught off guard, unable to see or even fast asleep when they strike. Just like with other prey, when a leopard attacks humans, it goes straight for the throat or the back of the neck, slicing through the jugular and making its victims bleed out. If someone somehow survives their vicious bites, they often end up dying from severe bacterial infections from the leopard's mouth. Back in the day, before antibiotics, this was an even bigger problem. It was noted that about 75% of leopard attack victims died from infections rather than the bite itself. Due to such an imposing threat to humans as well as livestock, leopards are one of the most persecuted big cats by hunters and locals. Despite being banned from hunting in several African regions, especially the females, since they take care of the new generation while males don't, these big cats are still killed a lot, either in self-defense, for their skins, bones, and meat, or just for trophy hunting. Unlike lions, leopards are solitary and prefer to live and hunt alone, marking their territories with scent to keep others away. They only come together to mate, as males and females breed throughout the year with multiple partners. After a gestation period of about 3 months, females will give birth to 2 to 4 cubs annually to support their population. These blind newborns are extremely vulnerable. Up to 63% of them are killed in their juvenile years due to intense competition with other top-chain predators. It's only when they're 18 to 24 months old that they can leave their mother's protection and start living on their own, eventually breeding at around 3 years old. Overall, the leopard population is considered vulnerable by the IUCN, but specifically for African leopards, the numbers aren't very clear. Some regional populations, like North African leopards, are considered critically endangered, while sub-Saharan leopards are also vulnerable. Either way, their numbers are decreasing year by year, which basically means, as much as these things love dragging us off the map, still need to chill out with the whole wipe them out mindset. So these deadly yet mesmerizing predators can keep surviving. And, well, keep hunting us, I guess. Huh. Okay, well, I feel like I've been talking for the past, 300 years. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, so I should probably go talk to your mom, call your dad, I don't know, whatever. Bye!